Deep state is done trying to go after Donald Trump or Republicans and conservatives. I got another thing coming.
Now, why would they be doing this? It's strange. They are the government. To the extent that the bureaucracy is doing bad stuff, that's their fault. President Truman famously had a sign on his...
No, she's too old. I hope you're memeing, okay? Because, as far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as too old, okay, for the presidency anymore.
...desk that said, the buck stops here, because as the president, as the leader of any organization, you do bear some responsibility when your organization fails. At the same time, you'd think an administration
Please, I will actually suck Hillary's pussy, okay? I'll do it, okay? I'll do it for her to win. I'll do it.
Effectively saying we do not have control over our own government. And that's effectively what they're saying whenever they talk about the deep state stuff, would play horribly. You'd think that that would play horribly and make them look like incompetent buffoons. So I've been thinking a ton about this question of why it doesn't seem to matter to people, and especially the Republican base, that the Trump administration is just constantly talking like they aren't fully in control of their own government. Why isn't this seen like some sort of scandal? And I think I've come to the conclusion that this just kind of fundamentally misunderstands the relationship that the second Trump administration has with the American government. On some fundamental level, I think the second Trump administration does not see itself first and foremost as the U.S. government. The second Trump administration sees itself first and foremost as a representative of, or an emanation of, the generalized conservative impulse in American politics. The fact that the Trump administration sees itself this way has three really big consequences for how it acts in American politics. First, it means they have basically no respect for the American political system because they aren't fundamentally loyal to the American political system. They're fundamentally loyal to the conservative impulse. And so they are likely to see things like Congress, the courts, even the Constitution as mere obstacles to the implementation of a conservative vision for the United States, rather than as things that they have to work with or structures that they have to work within. Second, it means that they can avoid some responsibility with the base for the poor performance of their actual government. And third, maybe most important, it means that they do not feel any sense of responsibility or duty towards people who are not aligned with their project. Let's start with that first point. Listen to any Trump administration official talk long enough and you'll hear something like this.
The Democrat Party has reached a point of extremism where the only thing that they believe is legitimate are the things that keep them in power and that keep their policies in effect, no matter the will of the public.
This kind of rhetoric serves two purposes. First, I think it is intended to, at least in part, create a false equivalence between Democrats just disagreeing with Trump and the actual real January 6th coup attempt. This is especially clear whenever you hear Trump administration officials using words like insurrection in contexts where it makes absolutely no sense. Here's Stephen Miller calling a court ruling that didn't go the Trump administration's way a legal insurrection, just as an example. The second purpose this serves, though, and what I really want to talk about here, is that this language is intended to claim the authority to implement their agenda outside the law. The Trump administration does not have enough votes in Congress to do basically anything substantive legislatively because Trump does not have enough votes to overcome the 60-vote filibuster threshold in the Senate. Because the senators refuse to eliminate the filibuster, basically all Congress can do right now is pass relatively non-controversial stuff or budget bills, which are not subject to the filibuster. The Trump administration is not satisfied with this, so instead of working with Congress to implement their agenda, they are attempting to claim that simply by winning the presidential election of 2024, they have gained the absolute right to do whatever they want. In their mind, anyone attempting to oppose the Trump administration on any issue is attempting to overturn the election. Anyone with the most basic understanding of how the American government works should immediately see that this is absurd. The president is not a dictator, and just saying that you're acting on behalf of the will of the people does not grant you extra powers that the president is not explicitly granted by the Constitution. This certainly hasn't stopped the Trump administration from pretending that this is how things work, though. This is J.D. Vance saying that the War Powers Act, a law that regulates how the president can use the military, is fake.
The president, I believe himself, has already said every president, Democrat or Republican, believes the War Powers Act is fundamentally a fake and unconstitutional law. It's not going to change anything about how we conduct foreign policy over the next couple of weeks, the next couple of months. and that'll continue to be how we approach things. Go ahead.
Of course, the President of the United States is the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, but Article 1 of the Constitution is very clear that Congress alone is granted extensive power to govern how the military is used, including to make rules for the government and regulation of the land and naval forces. Congress is also the branch with the power to declare war and the branch that funds the military. But again, the Trump administration doesn't actually really care about the Constitution, because if you listen to what they're saying, and the intellectual MAGA people who influence the Trump administration will just outright say this sometimes, is that they are appealing to a source of power and legitimacy outside the Constitution and above the law. If you listen to Stephen Miller talk about what he thinks the authority of the president is, you'd think that the Reichstag had just passed the 1933 Enabling Acts. That's how the Trump administration is talking about the 2024 election. They want you to think that the 2024 election was a blank check to ignore the Constitution and do whatever they want, completely unconstrained. The second thing I want to talk about is how, because the Trump administration doesn't first and foremost see itself as the government, and instead first and foremost sees itself as a kind of conservative mandate for change, they've been able to adopt an anti-government framing to avoid accountability for their government being incompetent and authoritarian. Remember that Kristi Noem clip from the beginning of the video?
We can't trust our government anymore. Absolutely.
You are the government.
Yeah.
This sort of reflexive anti-government stance from Republicans is very common, but I think in the past it's been somewhat of a hindrance when they're actually in power. It's all well and good to be anti-government when you're out of power, but it kind of puts you in a bind when you actually win, unless you're an anarchist. Presumably, if you are in politics, it's because you want the government to do something. You want to do something with the government. Even the most ardent libertarian probably wants to reorganize welfare or build a statue of Milton Friedman or something. But the point is, it's a little hard to be principled in your anti-government stance whenever you're the one that's actually running the government. This is where the second Trump administration has taken a kind of interesting approach. The deep state stuff you hear all the time from them now started as a conspiracy about a literal organized shadow government that existed inside the federal bureaucracy and national security agencies that secretly controlled the government that we all think is really in charge. For a long time, this kind of rhetoric remained on the conspiracy fringe, but in the Trump era, MAGA-aligned politicians have figured out that on a surface level, at least, if you don't really look too much into the details of the original conspiracy, a lot of the deep state type rhetoric bears a striking resemblance to less conspiratorial complaints that establishment Republicans have had about unaccountable bureaucrats for like 50 years. So the deep state framing turned out to be really useful for the Trump administration because that framing allows them to signal to the conspiracy nuts in the MAGA base that they know what's up, while at the same time making establishment Republicans happy. They can claim that the deep state stuff isn't all that much different from what they've been saying for years, and there's some plausible deniability about the conspiracy dog whistle. So that's why it matters from a kind of coalition building perspective. But the deep state framing is also very important to the second Trump administration because it gives them a way to have allies and enemies within their own government without looking like they're just totally incompetent and out of control to their base. The deep state framing gives them an excuse to have a dysfunctional, poorly performing, failing government because all that dysfunction can be blamed on the deep state trying to sabotage the president. And it can also, when combined with that claim of an extra legal mandate for change that we've been talking about throughout this video, justify illegal and authoritarian action to destroy parts of the government that are seen as aligned with the anti-conservative deep state. Now, I know that was confusing, so let me give you an example. This is what we saw with the saga of Elon Musk, Doge, and USAID. USAID was cast as some organ of the deep state propping up leftism in America and around the world. And so even though USAID was part of the government that the Trump administration now controlled, the Trump administration could talk about it like anti-government crusaders because they had constructed a narrative where USAID was part of this enemy parallel shadow government that their extra constitutional movement was at war with. To people who buy into this, it explains away all the chaos that occurred around that time in the Trump administration. Another more recent example of this same thing is the fight that the Trump administration is having with Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. This video isn't about economics, so I won't spend too much time explaining how the Federal Reserve works, but essentially, the Trump administration has been putting pressure on the Federal Reserve the Central Bank of the United States to lower interest rates, because this is something that would stimulate the economy in the short term. The Federal Reserve was created to be insulated from this kind of direct political pressure because, as you might imagine, letting politicians manipulate the money supply to try and juice the economy might not be.
And you know what that sounds like? Communism, right? Trying to command the economy top down. Like, we've seen this lesson before, right? Like, ultimately, they're just trying to move towards communism. They want the government to own all the assets, right? They want the government to own, like, how the economy works. They want the government, yeah, like, ultimately, like, ironically enough, even though they call the Democrats a bunch of commies and lefties and whatever, in actuality, like, what they're actually trying to do is move us towards communism. It's pretty fucking wild, actually. Yeah, I just can't believe it. Like, in a very roundabout way, we've made it back to the beginning of all things. State capitalism? Not even. Like, the government is trying to buy shares. It's like, I don't know. So it feels like. Leaked Jerome Powell response to the charges filed against him? Oh shit, I don't listen to that.
The healthiest thing in the world. Instead of just accepting this and doing other things that might improve the economy, like removing tariffs, just as an example, Trump has cast Jerome Powell, who he appointed in his first term, by the way, and the Federal Reserve as part of this enemy parallel government that's working to undermine him. As part of his pressure campaign on the Federal Reserve and on Jerome Powell specifically, Trump's Justice Department is launching an investigation into Powell over some stuff related to building renovations. This action led to Powell making this statement.
The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy
A populist movement is always at least anti-capital in narrative. Yes.
will be directed by political pressure or intimidation.
This particular story has yet.
China isn't technically communist either. Yeah, China is definitely state capitalist. Yes, that's true.
To finish playing out. So we'll see how it goes, but it's just the most recent example.
I don't think China is like setting prices like that. Otherwise, they know they would be fucking themselves over, right? Like they're not setting prices for themselves. No, I could be wrong though.
Example of President Trump attempting to claim powers that he absolutely does not have to control institutions and parts of the government in ways that he has absolutely no right to do. It's important to emphasize that no matter how much the president or his administration say that they have a mandate to do something outside the law, that this is just fundamentally incoherent. President Trump was elected to be president, an office outlined and bound by the Constitution. He was not elected to be dictator. It's impossible for voters to give someone a mandate to do something that they cannot constitutionally do. If you want to change the responsibilities of the president, you need to pass a constitutional amendment, not have the president's chief whiners go and complain about how his will is being undermined on national TV. Just really quick, as I write this, I'm about 850 subscribers away from hitting 20,000. If you like this video, or maybe
Jesus Christ, slow the fuck down.
You've liked some other stuff that I've done before, and you found yourself watching this video because the algorithm brought you back, consider subscribing. I really like making these videos for you all, and I'd love to hit that milestone by the end of this month. Okay, back to the video. The third thing that's important about how the Trump administration views itself, and probably the clearest evidence that exists that the Trump administration views itself fundamentally as more loyal to the conservative project than the country that they're actually governing, is that it's very clear that the Trump administration actively just hates anyone, any place, any organization that's not part of the conservative movement. Obama had a really famous speech where he talked about how we were one country and that it was bad to slice America up into clearly defined political allies and enemies.
The pundits like to slice and dice our country into red states and blue states. Red states for Republicans, blue states for Democrats. But I've got news for them too. We worship an awesome God in the blue states, and we don't like federal agents poking around in our libraries in the red states.
Let's contrast this with some.
Oh my god. Oh my god, we didn't know how good we had it. Fuck! Fuck! We didn't know how good we had it.
Some of what we've seen from the Trump administration lately. Here's Stephen Miller describing all Democrats.
Look, we discussed this last time I was on your show. The Democrat Party does not fight for, care about, or
now we have the United
American
States of Stupid.
It is an entity devoted exclusively to the defense of hardened criminals, gangbangers, and illegal alien killers and terrorists. The Democrat Party is not a political party.
Fascist.
It is a domestic extremist organization.
A day after Renee Good was murdered by an ICE agent, Kristi Noem appeared in front of a podium with the slogan, "One of ours, all of yours." This is a picture of the Department of Homeland Security's Twitter account reposting Trump's call for a day of reckoning and retribution against Democrats in Minnesota. The social media accounts of this administration are basically entirely geared towards generating approval from online right-wingers in the United States. Here's a clip from PBS talking a little about what this looks like in practice.
From Friday, an ICE recruitment ad featuring the turn of phrase, "We'll have our home again," plastered over an image of a man on horseback and a stealth bomber flying in the distance. That's a reference to the song "We'll Have Our Home Again," a white supremacist anthem favored by the Proud Boys.
There's really not even an attempt to act like the Trump administration is governing on behalf of all Americans. The official position of the Trump administration is that the Democratic Party is a domestic extremist organization. The Trump administration is claiming that the 2024 election gives them the right to ignore Congress, ignore the courts, and ignore the Constitution to push through an extremist agenda. They're trying to avoid accountability for their authoritarian consolidation of power inside the government by claiming to wage a war against a secret parallel government. And they are promising a day of reckoning and retribution for their political opponents. The good news is that through all this, Trump's popularity has fallen. He's hovering around 40% approval right now. We're headed for a midterm election in 2026.
Yikes.
This will inevitably be seen as a referendum on the Trump administration. If Democrats win big enough in these midterms, and if we put pressure on Democrats to actually do something with the power that they're very likely to win in November of this year, looking at you, Chuck Schumer, we could make almost all of this stop, basically immediately. Not just because it would give the Democratic Party some actual institutional power in government, but because the Republican Party is currently made up of lots of different factions held together by loyalty to Trump. If it suddenly looks like Trump's brand is trash, if it looks like Trump is slipping with the base, any Republican with an ounce of ambition is going to be looking for ways to differentiate themselves come 2028. The Republican Party and the Trump administration does not care about being an effective government of the United States, working for the general welfare of all Americans. They are interested mostly in punishing enemies and seizing power beyond what the Constitution grants them. It's important to remember that there is no other room of people that's secretly in charge above people like Miller and Vance and Noem and Rubio. They're in charge. They're the ones in charge. But at any point, Congress could stop them. At any point, Congress could force ICE and the Border Patrol to stop menacing people and stop occupying cities. At any point, Congress could stop tariffs. At any point, Congress could stop any of this. But the Republican Party won't do it. They are in the tank for the authoritarian consolidation. The best chance we have to stop this before 2028 is this November. And what we have to do is throw as many Republicans out of office as possible. I'll be getting ready on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can be part of that as we do things in the upcoming year. Like the video and share it if you really enjoyed it.
Don't let hubris be your downfall, okay? Overconfidence can be a slow and insidious killer. Okay? There is nothing more poetic than an overconfident downfall. Yeah, we got the election in the bag. Man, where have we heard that before? Oh yeah, for the last 10 years. Whoa. It's crazy, dude. What can we do to prevent it? Is that a Darkest Dungeon quote? Yes. Yes. Yeah, I'm kind of cool. Yeah. I would probably consider myself to be a cool person. Yeah. I know Darkest Dungeon, okay? Darkest Democracy? Oh my god. Absolute fucking cinema, mate. Okay? Darkest Democracy. Ooh. That hits really hard. Oh my god. Darkest Democracy. Absolute cinema. Oh, is the red room open? It's like, is that wise? Oh my god, it's not. It's clearly not. Okay, cool. Cool. Glad I have to open it every time myself. Awesome. Thank you. I'm so happy I have to go and open the red room myself. I'm so happy I'm running this place like 50 trillion times, and all I'm looking for is a single fucking blueprint. Wow, this is amazing. I love fucking chancing my way around this place. This is such great game design. Oh my god, who the fuck designed this game? I'm so happy. I'm so happy you did this. You've done so well. Wow, I love going through this entire place 50 trillion times, looking forward to one blueprint that I really fucking need. Oh my god, what did I ever do without that? Oh my god, I love running to and fro to deliver a bunch of stupid fucking battery cells. Oh my god. Oh lord, what would I ever do without that? Dude, all I'm doing is that. Okay, look at this shit. I am fucking battery delivery person. Okay? I am the battery deliverer. I do. The battery deliver. Make sure to buy the battle. What battle pass? What are you talking about? What do you mean? Oh my god, I fucking love delivering batteries. Holy. Oh my god, every single time a battery comes in. I'm just so happy. In the 2020 election, should I have been a blowout? You know what should have been a blowout? Your mom and I. You're cooked. Put the battery in the box. I'm trying to, okay? I just feel embarrassed. I feel demeaned. I feel like I'm being insulted. Like, oh, why is this a thing? Why am I forced to do this? I feel like I'm being made fun of. Oh my god. Yes, let me in. Ah, the weapon crate on the counter. Wow, arpeggio. Woohoo. That's amazing, dude. Oh my god, please shut the fuck up. Hungry? What? Talking about? What the fuck are you talking? Wow. Moss. Whoa. Nice. Advanced mechanical. Advanced electrical, no things. That. I don't even want to open these, dude. They're so bad. Yep. Why did I even try? Why did I even try? There's no point in trying. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why the fuck do I open any of the fucking breaches? What's the point in having breaches? There's no point in having breaches. Okay? What? Base nerd rage? What? I'm not raging. You're raging. You're mad. You're sweating. You're perspiring. Base nerd rage. Yeah. Based your mom thinks we're $10 though. You know what? Unusable weapons are at least pretty damn good, okay? Unusable weapons, if I know that nobody else got me, I know that unusable weapons got me, okay? Was that a Venator just fucking lying around? Based. Cool. Holy yo. Okay. You won't see me complaining. Wow. This was amazing loot. I'm so glad I came here. Wow. This is crazy. Oh. Let's head home at the warehouse air shaft. Wait. Is that even the right way? Fuck me. Oh my lord. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Are these even open? No, they're not open. There's always some motherfucker like in the fucking thing already. Like, motherfucker, I don't need to. Like, dude, it's like every single time I spawn in like 10 minutes late. Like I'm like already looking for the like fucking nearest exit because I'm like, where's the point? Give me a 29 minutes, okay? Just give me a 29 minutes right next to the fucking location, okay? I don't need any of her gay ass fucking retarded. Oh my lord. Like I don't need any of your retarded ass like fucking 15 minutes left, motherfucker. Why did you even load me into the round? What the fuck was the point of loading me into the round? I might as well go suck 50 dicks, okay? And swallow all that cum. Wait, oh shit. Oh my god. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Oh great, there's a Rocketeer in the distance too. That's just fantastic. Yep. Wow, nice. I rolled right into it like a retard. Die already. Jeez. Oh my god, really? Okay. Good. Imagine using a Stitcher to kill, like, all of these fucking trash mobs. Fuck me. Fuck. Fuck. What am I doing? Fuck. Fucking Stitcher. Fucking gamer. Fuck. What am I doing? Fucking Stitch. Fucking using the Stitcher. What am I doing? Oh my god. Not the Rocketeer. Shut. I will do it. I'll kill the Rocketeer. The fucking Stitcher. Oh my god.
Just a drink. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
What is this, 50 waves? Of trash? Yeah, fantastic. Yes, yes, yes. Come after me. Come on. Knock me out. Why not? Come on, Rocketeer. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know you want to come near. Yo, hey, dude. Boris, thank you so much for $20. I'm not even doing anything right now. I'm not even reacting to shit. But thanks. I appreciate that. I don't know what that means, though. I don't know what you said. I'm sorry. I don't know what you said, okay? Thank you. I'm listening to YouTubers talking about econ. Planned economies work if your heart is pure enough, like a Goku spirit bomb. Yeah, what? Yeah, and fascism also works if every single leader is perfect and a wise sage king. Like, yeah, like it's just like a non-statement, right? Sorry, not you. Okay, you're fine. Okay, you're fine. But it's like it's like a non-statement. It's like, yeah, I guess dictatorships work if every single dictator is perfect. Yeah, I guess so. Cool. Very, very neat. Sorry. Tax related bullshit. If eligible, your 1099 form will be available here by January 31st. Dude, I fucking hate doing taxes. Why can't they just do this shit automatically? Like, how hard does it have to be? Oh, wow, yeah, I guess... yeah, you have to pay, like, TurboTax, like, $80 a year. Yeah, like, it's just a one-time payment. Maybe you'll get, like, money back. Dude, shut the fuck up. Wait. Alright, what's this one? Next.